Hello and welcome back to the Last Walks blog. We are here today, less than a week before the season starts, to bring you what is a new series, which today will be a podcast, but from next week will become a video series, which we're calling League One Weekly. And today, for our first edition, what we're going to do is give you a preview for the upcoming League One campaign. Basically running through myself, James, Josh and Kyle, basically what we think and predict for the season coming up. So obviously we're going to start at the top end because that's the most sensible thing to do. James, we have discussed this off air and we all pretty much agreed that is who the favourites are for the title this year.
Definitely. I mean, Blackburn, they've signed, the signings they've made, obviously they've taken our style man, haven't they? In Bradley Dack. Dominic Samuel's gone that way too. Who's that one they signed from QPR? Ben Gladwin?
Yeah.
As well.
Obviously Peter Whittingham as well.
That's what I mean. So the signings they've made, I think they're the ones certainly to run away with this league.
They do look like the Sheffield United of this season, or whoever it's been in previous years. They look like the one standout that should, in theory, be head and shoulders above the rest. But obviously, Josh, you've gone the same as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that come close to challenging them for the title.
It's hard to see. Like, especially when, obviously, as Gills fans, we saw enough of Dack and Samuel play together, and they had quite a good bond, didn't they, together, to be honest? That was good foil for Samuel, and he scored a fair few goals in his loan spell at Gills. They've been in the Championship for a number of years, haven't they? So of course they've had that squad there, and maybe they shouldn't have even been as low as they were last year, but it turned out whatever it did, and they've come down. And to be fair, they've invested money this summer.
They've got a quality League One side now,
and they probably have spent more than anyone else. Kyle, we've got them as well, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's general consensus across all of us at Blackburn.
Probably against most fans across the league, to be honest, that they are the ones to beat. Yeah, I think. So hopefully now we'll start having a bit of variety in our predictions. So Kyle, who have you got in second place?
I put Bradford. I think I like the way they played last season. I thought they were quite unfortunate, and I don't think the competition that's come down, with the exception of Blackburn, is going to pose much of a threat going up. The teams that have come up, Portsmouth, and I don't think anyone else that's been in the league has made a really good amount of signings other than, Bury, which we'll discuss later, but obviously they've got so many new signings that they'd find it difficult to actually mesh. So I just think Bradford looking pretty strong.
Who have you got second, James?
I've gone for Bradford as well.
Right.
Like Kyle said, very impressive side. I thought they were one of the better sides that come down to Priestfield last season. Moved the ball really nicely, and they've got we're going to get onto it later, but they've got Charlie Wyke, who I've gone for a top goal scorer. I think Stuart McCall, I think he's still there, isn't he?
Yep.
I think he's done a brilliant job with Bradford. They've obviously got a bit of money. Also, I think that the scheme they're doing with the season tickets, where they've got 20,000 plus at home, they're going to have a real good home record as well. And if they can replicate that away, then they were really close last year, and I think they're probably going to go one better.
I think they was unbeaten at home last year. It clearly has worked for them. But I've got Wigan second. They've not got a bad squad there, to be honest. Paul Cook's gone in there, hasn't he, as manager now? It's a good, solid appointment at this level. Obviously, they've got Greg, who last time Wigan were in this league, he scored goals for fun, didn't he? And obviously, they've still got Boggle there. Power's still there, isn't he? Nick Power, is he there now, I think?
Yeah.
So, like Blackburn, really, they've got a few really, really good players for this level up there. I think they will probably get the second automatic promotion place. And Josh, who do you think will be going up to Blackburn?
I've gone for a side that were very good last season, very hard to beat, Fleetwood Town. Last season, no one predicted for them to come anywhere near the top. And, they blew everyone away. A side that just set up really well, really hard to beat. I think they'll continue. They got a great manager there. And I think they'll do very well again next season.
All right, moving into the playoff positions, and I've got Bradford one down on James and Carl. I've got them to come third.
Same.
Like what you've said, really, they've got a good squad there. They've got a good manager, plenty of support. I just think they'll be a little bit short of the top two.
The only reason I put Bradford in the playoffs and not the top two was because they won't have Josh Cullen there next season.
They have lost a couple, haven't they? They've lost Marshall as well.
They won't have Marshall, Cullen, Meredith.
That's right. So they have had a few changes,
But-
which might take a little bit of time to adjust.
But for me, Josh Cullen's the massive loss, and he's the reason they're not in the top two for me. And but I still think they'll be great next season. And like James said, Wyke up front, bring him at this level.
Jake Reeves is a good signing as well from Wimbledon in midfield.
Yeah.
He's a good little player. But yeah, they're definitely going to be up there, I think, Bradford. They have been the last couple of years, haven't they? They've just fallen short. But who have you got on third, James?
I've actually gone for Oxford.
Right, okay.
I think that they're different to what Blackburn have done and gone out big. They're more shrewd signings. And I think they've gone about their business really quite tidy and neat. They played again. They're obviously the team that sacked Justin Edinburgh last season, and I thought they were, apart from we were poor that day, they were a very good footballing side. And they've got their manager. I think was he Lee? Does he come from Leeds United or?
Yeah, Pep Clotet, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, being a foreign manager, they're probably going to have a way of playing, and the signings that he's made as well is that they look like they're going to be hard to beat, and they were very good last year. So I suspect they're going to be good this year.
Says a lot about their side when Curtis Nelson couldn't get a game last season.
Yeah,
exactly.
But he's now captain, so
Yeah.
obviously Raglan's gone there, isn't he, full time?
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got a good foundation there. Kyle, who have you got third?
I've gone Portsmouth for third. Reason for that is you see time and time again, team that win League Two again next season in League
Yeah,
One, they
it's
tend
true.
to perform very, very strongly.
Barring us.
Bowen Gillingham. Yeah.
That will be glossed over. But yeah, I thought they looked very strong last season, and the confidence boost coming up from nabbing the title on the last day of the season, it'll carry over. They've had a very good pre-season campaign as well, so I can see good things. And I reckon they'll just miss out on promotion. I reckon it'll probably be about a 4 or 5 point gulf between second and third. I reckon it'll be as close as it has been previously.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with Portsmouth, I've not got Portsmouth anywhere near as high, but obviously they did lose their manager because Paul Cook left to go to Wigan, but obviously they've brought in an excellent manager for this level. One us Gills fans are a little bit sad about. Would have loved to have seen him come in the summer, and Kenny Jackett. He's an excellent manager at League One level. And I think that is probably a part of the reason why a lot of people were tipping them to have quite a good campaign. But in the second playoff spot, I've probably got a little bit of a controversial one. I've gone with Charlton. I think they underperformed last year with what they've got there, to be honest. It was them that have pinched Mark Marshall off Bradford. Excellent,
also got Billy
excellent
Clark.
winger. Yep, they've brought Billy Clark in from Bradford.
Yeah.
Also got Forster Kasky in there. Really good central midfielder. Solly's still there.
Kept Ricky Holmes.
Yeah,
Harry Lennon.
Harry Lennon, if he ever plays.
He's a great centre half. He's got.
That's the thing, they've got the players there, Charlton. I don't know what it was from last year. Maybe it's where the manager's change come in, and maybe Robinson hasn't quite got his way across there yet. But I think they'll be a lot stronger than they were last year. And if they get things right, I think they will be up there personally. But I don't know what you lot have got in fourth place.
I've actually gone for something different to what Josh has gone for. I've gone for Fleetwood. Just the simple fact is that they're solid, but they don't actually have a natural goal scorer in that side, and I don't think they're going to score too many goals. But again, Juve Rosler is going to make Fleetwood very, very hard to beat. And you saw last year, the football they played when they come to us was absolutely outstanding. One-touch stuff. I think one of their goals they scored against us was ping, 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 like literally all one-touch and two-touch stuff against us, apart from Holy just not moving to his right-hand side, as per usual. But yeah, Fleetwood in fourth.
Josh, who have you got fourth?
I've gone for Southend United. For me, they've had one of the best, if not the best, transfer window in League One. Bringing in the likes of Turner, Kitely. I mean, let's be honest, they're Championship players, and for Southend to manage to bring those, there's got to be something there. And Phil Brand's a good manager at this level. They've done very well last season, narrowly missed out on the playoffs. Yeah. As we know, Jermaine McGlashan had a good season there, but we've took one of their squad players in Luke O'Neill, so I think they'll miss him a little bit. But yeah, I think they'll have a great season. Southend.
And Kyle, your 4th place.
I also went for Southend. Same reasons as Josh, really. Just missed out on playoffs last season. Very good transfer window again, even if they have lost Niall Ranger, haven't they?
You know, he's back.
No,
he's back.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's back
now.
again.
Yeah.
Back again.
He's come out of
but
prison.
I think a lot of people that haven't been mentioned, I reckon Simon Cox is going to have a very good season.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
He'll have a very good season. I reckon he'll finish 20-25 goals. So that's where they were lacking last season, weren't they? Really, they were
pretty solid.
Quite similar to us, where they conceded
Anton
a few more
Ferdinand's
goals.
still there.
Yeah, conceded a few goals than maybe they should have. But the fact they're going to have a lot of goals coming in might work in their favour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Southend in 5th.
So do I.
Like you say, Josh, I think they've tied Ferdinand down to a 2-year deal.
2 years.
Great
Excellent,
player last
excellent
season.
addition. Leonard's still there at the moment, isn't he? I know he's
He
been
is,
subject to transfer speculation, but it sounds like he might stay.
And McGlashan's done better there than he ever was at Gills.
Obviously, like you say, Turner and Kitely are superb signings at this level, and whatever people say about him as individual, as a character, Niall Ranger is a good footballer at League One level. We saw that against us, where he come off the bench and made an instant impact. And like Cole says, him and Cox probably could score a lot of goals between them.
I
And that-
hate the bloke, but what a player.
That's why I think they'll make the playoffs. this year.
Yeah, I've gone for Southend as well. I agree. Yeah, I think they're a good, like Josh quite rightly said, they're a good solid side, and Phil Brown's a good solid manager, and I think they're getting this time, and yeah, just have to wait and see.
Best transfer window this season, barring Blackburn, I think Southend. But in 5th place, I've gone for Wigan, just for the simple reason. Listen, Will Griggs scores goals fine at this level. Do you know what I mean? He's too good for League One and not good enough for the Championship.
Yeah, he's one of them weird ones.
Yeah. So he'll come down and score a load of goals as what he usually does, and you know they're good. They're a good side in League One. They proved that before, and not a lot has changed there in terms of the personnel. So I think they'll have another solid season.
I've gone for Wigan in 6th as well. I think they might, even though they've got the squad there, I think some sides come down and kind of struggle a little bit. I think they still make it just to the due, like with the players they've got and the squad they've got. I don't think they will do as well.
They might start
People
slowly.
think-
Yeah,
they'll
I
start slowly,
I
so-
just think they'll start slowly, and that'll
Yeah.
just hinder them
Yeah.
from making the automatic.
Yeah.
Take a while to get the ground running because of the transition from Championship to
Exactly,
League One.
yeah,
But
exactly,
at the end of the day, they've still got a very solid squad. That's why I put them in 5th, and
Yeah,
then I've gone for
same, yeah.
Fleetwood in 6th.
I've gone for Oxford United in 6th place.
I've got Oxford in 6th. Yeah, like I say, they've done some good business. Not necessarily spent a lot.
Pretty much
Connor-
we've pretty much got the same teams.
Very similar. I don't
Same
have
teams, but
I think
swapped.
I'm the only person that doesn't have Oxford in my top 6.
Connor McAnally, I think, is a great signing.
He's at Fleetwood.
However,
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah.
I thought he signed for Oxford.
He signed for Fleetwood.
Well, in that case, Fleetwood, what a signing they made.
Oxford signed Jack Payne.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one who I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Huddersfield on loan in it. What a signing that
What's
is.
the sign? That is.
That's the one I was on about.
He looked very good when he was at Southend.
Yeah, and he'll do the same
Absolutely
again.
fantastic in our division. And
Huddersfield
he's not good,
made
not
him
good
a
enough
better
for the
player.
Premiership, but I'll tell you what, League One, he will tear it apart.
Oh, without doubt.
So yeah, there are our top 6s, and now we're going to leave a gap in the table for the time being, and we are going to move down to the not so nice end of the table of the relegation teams. This time we'll start from the bottom up. James, who have you got to come bottom of League One this year?
Shrewsbury.
So have I.
Shrewsbury Town.
Shrewsbury.
Sorry.
I just
Sorry,
think they're-
Shrewsbury.
They're a very, very poor side.
They've not signed anyone this summer that's made me go,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to improve a lot.
Yeah.
Off the back
They're a
of
bit
that.
like us. They've got a non-league manager in charge, and but unlike us, he hasn't done any business at all.
No,
nothing.
At least Stars has made some.
Yeah, at least
Well, he actually made some wholesale changes over the summer.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, at least he's done something. But I think they're going to struggle. They're a very, very poor team.
They weren't great last season,
Yeah.
were they?
No.
They were very,
And
very
they
lucky to start
generally do seem to yo-yo between Leagues 1 and League 2, don't
Yeah.
they? They come up and down.
They're a
always
League Two
down.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every division they've been in League One for the past. Been there 3 seasons now, haven't they? And they've always
don't
just
last long.
great.
Always,
past.
always flirting with relegation.
Yeah.
Always. So yeah, them bottom
So
definitely.
we're, all 4 of us have agreed on that one. 23rd, James.
I've
Who
gone
have
for
you got?
Oldham.
Right, okay.
I know they've got an experienced manager down there, but he seems to leave halfway through the season.
He does, yeah.
And then they'll go and get someone else, and then they'll struggle. And I just think that again they don't have enough firepower within them. defensively, I don't think they're great. I don't think they've made really any big signings, big changes to their squad, and they were flirting with relegation a bit last year as well. So I think Oldham are going to struggle.
I've got Blackpool in 23rd. Obviously, just come up from League Two. I don't think their squad's that great for League One levels. Because obviously Jack Payne moved on to go to Ebbsfleet.
Lost Tom Aldridge.
Yeah, he's gone to Bury. They've brought Max Clayton in from Bolton, which is a good signing if he's fit. But I know the last year or so he spent most of that out injured. So if he's not fit, I think they might struggle for goals, to be honest.
Cullen's still there.
Defonso
He's
hasn't
still there,
scored in like 2 years.
He's not prolific, is he, Cullen? I don't think.
No.
I just look at their squad and think they're a little bit short. And obviously with the Oystons there, I'm not expecting them to go out and blow a load of money all of
They
a
haven't
sudden.
got the firepower really. have
So,
they?
yeah, I think they're going to struggle, and I've got them at second bottom.
Second bottom for me, I've gone with Walsall.
Oh,
It makes so have I, and it makes me sad to put them there. But
Listen, I like Walsall, but
I think we all do, really, don't we?
listen, they're awful defensively. They showed that when we rocked up last season and beat them.
Yes. In a very comical win at the Bankstown Stadium, I think me and Reece would agree.
Yeah.
we was battered and
We
still
did
come away
deserve it
with 2
whatsoever.
goals.
Yeah, but going forward, they've got a lot. Simon Jackson's their best striker, and he was rubbish last season.
Yes.
As much as I love him. And listen, if Oztuma leaves, which it looks like he's going to add in the transfer request, that relegate him now, they're finished. They haven't got a chance if he leaves.
And they do have Physio as their manager.
Yeah, exactly. John Winnie.
So you've got them 23rd as
I
well,
got them
Carl.
23rd, yeah.
Right, so 22nd, I've gone with Oldham there.
Same. I've gone with Oldham.
The thing is with Oldham is that the reason why they stayed up last year was that their defensive record was good, so they've always got a chance of nicking 1-0 wins.
Yes.
But they've been one of these teams that it seems like for the past 5-10 years have always been down the bottom of League One, and they look doomed. Then they change the manager at Christmas and they get out of it, and it's just like eventually you're going to fall below that line. You're not going to keep getting away with it, and I just don't think they've got enough goals to survive this year.
Yeah.
Reason I've put James.
mate.
Reason I've put Oldham 22nd is that simple reason they don't score enough goals. Like you said, they've got the capability to nick a 1-0 win here and there. But as you said, James, a minute ago, the manager has a tendency to leave halfway through the season, you know, and so if he does that again this season, then yeah, they'll definitely be down there.
I've swapped places with what you've gone with. I've gone Blackpool, 22nd. Like you said, Reece, the Oystons don't know what way they're turning. What they might wake up one morning and think, oh, stuff it, we're going to sack the managers today and sack half the squad. It just seems like they're an absolute shambles. I don't think they have enough, and I think they just fall straight down again. It was lucky they don't know how they got promoted last year.
I don't, to be honest.
They weren't the better team in the playoff final.
No.
Not by a long stretch.
Yeah,
Really shocked me when they
and
went
again,
up.
again, they haven't added at all. And
I think they had like 6,000 fans at Wembley.
Yeah, if that.
I think they
Because no one really cares at the club.
No.
All the fans have just lost.
lost complete interest.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be straight back down.
Carl, who have you got 22nd?
Oldham.
You got Oldham as well,
Yes.
with me. For the same reasons.
They don't score. They don't score. We're expecting to see them finish the season. They'll have like the best goals conceded ratio in like the bottom half. They won't have conceded many, but the thing is, they'll probably finish on about 35 goals.
I think they
35
scored
goals.
30 odd goals last year.
They'll definitely average less than a goal a game.
And you can only
No doubt
get
about
away
it.
with that for so long, surely, before you get found out and
Yeah.
you fall. But the last relegation place, I've gone with a newly promoted team again, Plymouth.
So have I.
A bit like Oldham. I
I've gone
don't
Plymouth.
think they're going to score enough goals.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I think they're a good club, Plymouth, and I'm glad to see them on the rise again, because obviously they were in the Championship at one point and then they went through a lot of turmoil and they seem to be on the rise again. They should have been promoted a couple of years ago, to be honest, but they kept
I
being
remember
top
that.
of the league with 10 games left and then bottling it, and then they lost in the playoff final to Wimbledon last year. They finally got up this time round, but again, I think they'll be solid defensively and they won't concede an awful lot, but I'm not convinced they've got enough goals in there to survive.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Last relegation place, I've gone with Blackpool for the exact same reasons you just said a minute ago.
Blackpool, who I've got 21st as well.
So
Pretty much.
I've pretty much got the same teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart
Have
from
we got the same bottom four, Carl, in order?
Shrewsbury, Walsall, Oldham, Blackpool.
Yeah.
So we all haven't. gone
apart from
for-
me and James have got Plymouth and you and Josh have got Walsall.
Yeah,
We've
that's
got
the only
same.
difference. But
Yeah.
we all agreed that Blackpool, Oldham, and Shrewsbury. are
We
going
all
down.
haven't put Jules in there.
No, let's talk about
optimism.
as for Gills fans. Let's have a little talk about Gills.
they're
Where
20th
have
for
you
me.
got us? You've got us 20th,
Yeah.
just surviving.
Just surviving. I'll defend Pennock. Now he's had a good summer. Despite
But we're still only going to come 20th.
despite the loss of despite the loss of Reddy Dack and Kyle McDonald obviously being the main ones, he's brought in players and that will fit his own style. And the one I've been impressed with, although it was obvious, he's made wholesale changes to the back four or back five, whatever we're going to play, and
Which is what we've needed for.
which is what we need
a
for
while.
ages. Yeah, and,
It should have been done over last summer, but Edinburgh just decided to sign midfield.
The additions of Zakuani and Alex Lacey especially, I think will do brilliantly. But I've got them down as 20th just because Adi Pennock's the manager.
I've been a bit more optimistic. I've got a 16th. Our strike force doesn't look amazing on paper, I know, and I've probably been swayed a little bit by watching us put 12 past teams about 20 leagues below us. It's probably maybe a bit more optimistic than I should be. But no, I think defensively we'll be fairly solid this year, and I just think it's a case with Gills that if Wagstaff and Martin are fully fit now, they are excellent players at League One level, and if they can add 5-10 goals each, the strikers isn't so much of an issue, and we should be fine.
I think another key to us as well is keeping Gumps fit. If we keep him fit, I think we'll have a better season than what my table.
So I mean,
suggests.
we've got a good squad there.
On paper,
I've gone for 17th, and to be honest, I think most Gills fans would probably take that.
Yeah,
I'll bite your hand off for it.
Yeah.
Time, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we need a good, solid year. Just stabilise ourselves.
Yeah, just get us mid-table.
Yeah.
Consolidate and move from there.
Yeah.
What concerns me this season, I've got Gills down to 17th. What concerns me this season is we could still easily go down because we can have the most solid defence in the world, and I think our defence this season is going to be a lot better than last season. At least the 3 centre backs in front of whoever's in goal. The issue is the people that are behind the centre backs.
Yeah.
At the moment, because you can score as many goals as you want, but if you concede 6 in a game,
Like I said to you, James, the defence can be as good as it likes, but if someone tosses a cross in from 30 yards and the goalkeeper drops it on the striker's head, the defence is pretty hopeless. It's like if they come for a corner and flap it, which they're both
Capable
prone
of
to doing.
yes.
Yeah, but we are generally, Gills are going to be safe, but
Just.
not transformed from last
I'm
year.
sure they'll send our heart racing.
The only two things that concern me, like you said, is the keeper and where the goal's going to come from.
Another team I think we should discuss is one we've touched on very, very briefly in terms of the business they've done this year is Bury.
Yes.
Carl, where have you got them?
I think I've been a bit more optimistic than the rest of you. I put them 7th. I think they'll just miss out on the playoffs because what's going to happen, in my opinion, is they're going to have an absolutely atrocious start. After 7 or 8 games, they'll probably be just above relegation zone. They'll start getting it together. They'll start actually moulding together and all that sort of stuff. But the issue is they've made such massive wholesale changes over the summer. Have they got any players that are still there from last season that you reckon will actually feature in their starting 11?
Yes.
I've actually gone less optimistic than you, Carl. I've gone 14th
I've got them 13.
I've got them 13.
because they're a lot like the side under Justin Edinburgh.
I thought that
absolutely.
Gillingham last year, a load of big
they remind me
names.
of-
Yeah,
yeah,
they're a
But
lot with us.
is the cohesion going to be there? I think they'll be better than we were last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do a lot. I reckon they'll do very well though. I do think they'll actually get
But
just off the playoffs.
I suppose-
I think Beckford's better at level than Emmanuel Thomas.
Whereas we signed big names all in midfield, they have made a couple of good defensive signings. Like you say, Aldred from Blackpool's a really good signing, so maybe they will do better than us. And
Beckford's
I just think it's probably going to be a transitional period, but they've got a good manager down there in Lee Clark.
yeah,
So he might be able to. He might be able to settle the ship and not sink it like Justin Edinburgh did.
I just think they'll do okay. Nothing.
yeah, that's
nothing
what
special.
I think.
But what I've put on my notes as well is it's very much promotional bust for them this season because they
Yeah.
have just chucked money out. And
But it's literally
much
promotional
like
bust.
us last season, they don't have an owner that's got oil billions behind them. It's just a bloke really.
Should we talk about our ex-manager?
Yeah, let's.
Northampton?
I've got them 14th.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where have I got them?
I've got-
them. Go on then, James.
I've got them 9th.
I've got them not too similar to James. I've got them 10th.
Yeah, I think they've made. I think it looks like Edinburgh's learnt from his mistakes at Gillingham, and he's made more defensive signings, and the signings he has made have been very good.
But from my conversation with Northampton fans, they still don't seem that confident in the defence.
I think they've signed too many. I think they've signed
Yeah.
13 players this summer. That's a big old turnaround. It's going to
A
take
lot of
a
them
while
midfielders.
to start. Like, if you sign that many players, it does take a while for the team morale and the cohesion to get there, and the chemistry. And Edinburgh, if they start well, they might have a solid season. But once things start to turn a little bit ugly with Edinburgh, they very, very quickly spiral out of control. And he starts saying things that baffle you, and then he makes weird decisions.
And this is the thing for me with Edinburgh. When you're playing well, there's not a better manager in the world that you can play under, right? But
In the world,
obviously,
don't know.
like Guardiola, like
In the third tier of
in the
English
third
football,
tier of English
possibly.
football, right? But
In fact, I think I still think Kenny Jackett.
when things start to go wrong, he's like the worst manager you can play under.
I think every press conference he just seems to go in. Much
it was
like,
the same comments every week.
Not only did he say the same stuff, but he's like, he doesn't seem to ever criticise his players, which is like, okay, last season I think Pennant went a bit too far in some of his criticisms, but you can't walk out every time and say bad luck, overachieving, bad luck, and it's like sometimes you've got to say, okay, this could be improved.
You would have to laugh this season if they start struggling, and after their takeover, he starts blaming the budget.
Yeah.
Seeing as well these big investors
What
go
if
in
they
there.
have like
and-
a game like Wigan away,
That's-
like we had
yeah.
under him?
That's the only reason I put them so far up. Actually, is because of the investment. If things start going pear-shaped, they got plenty of money to throw money at it in January and stay up and get up that table.
But throwing money, it's one thing. Throwing in the money at the right type of player is
That's the thing.
it's a different thing, and that's probably what Edinburgh fell on his sword at Gills, is that he signed on paper good footballers, but
He set
they
himself up
weren't
to
what
fail.
we needed at that particular time. But maybe like James says, maybe he has learnt a little bit at Northampton now, and then he might make them better than they were last year. But who else shall we discuss? A playoff outfit from last year, Scunthorpe.
I've got them 16th.
Quite low.
I've got they were even in our league. I literally forgot about them. I mean, just meh, really. They reminded me of us, like when we was there or thereabouts in the playoffs and dropped out of it. That's what they reminded me of, and especially Van Veen. To me, in the games I watched him, looked so lazy. Paddy Madden's a good player. Apart from that, there's not a lot there.
For that
I've
reason,
gone 12th.
I've gone 19th. I've gone very low because I think it's going to be much like us last season, where they're just going to have a complete and utter catastrophic collapse because of just the confidence going from last season had such a disastrous end to it. I reckon they'll just have a catastrophic collapse.
I've got them 11th. I think they'll be perfectly safe and they'll be about mid-table, but the reason why I don't think they'll do as well as last year is that I think Josh Morris had a bit of a freak season last year, scoring 20 goals from midfield.
Bit like Josh Wright, really.
If you don't replicate that, they're probably not going to be as high as they were.
Yeah, they were poor against us.
They'll do okay, I think, but I don't think they're going to be top 6 material this year.
So they still beat us 5-0 early on in the season.
Do you want to talk about
The best signings?
Wimbledon?
Yeah, let's talk about Wimbledon.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
that's
Gills,
true.
I've got
the ex-Gills 11.
I've
Yeah.
got them narrowly missing out of playoffs. I've got them in 7th.
I've actually got him in 7th as well.
I think Conan McDonald will do bits there.
Colin McDonald will do absolute bits.
I've got them
at
15th.
Wimbledon.
I think they'll be alright. I think they'll be a little bit better than us, but I don't think they're going to be... Oshalada's alright. He ain't a playoff defender.
I've got 12.
I think they score a lot of
complete
goals.
Mediocrity. 12 complete mediocrity.
Yeah, they'll be okay. I don't think they're going to be...
No, I think they'll do well this
Their
season.
strike force is very, very good.
I don't think
Lyle
they're-
Taylor and Colin McDonald.
I don't think they're up
but
there
their
with...
defence,
But
yeah.
the thing that worries me is the defence with someone like Dead Josh Larger in there that goes wondering.
True.
They've lost Reeves as well, probably their best midfielder.
But Barry Fuller will be back soon. No, that's a massive
Barry-
plus for them.
He is back.
Is he?
Yeah,
back
he
to
is
full
back.
fitness. That's a massive plus for them.
But yeah, I think the likes of Southend, Oxford,
Yeah,
all
they're
round
better.
a strong
Yeah,
route
they're
for
better.
this year.
Yeah, that's why they're not in
I've
playoffs
just
for me.
Yeah,
But-
just missed them out.
For Wimbledon, if they can consolidate their place in League One again, because that club has obviously in the last 10 years come on.
Leaps
It's
and
risen
bounds, yeah.
from the very, very bottom into the Football League and up into the 3rd tier, which is incredible in itself. So if they consolidate in League One for 3 or 4 years, I expect a lot of Wimbledon fans will be quite happy with that. But let's talk about some different categories now, and who we think will be top scorer in the league this year. Well, James, we'll start with you because you touched on yours earlier.
Yeah, I've gone for Charlie Wyke of Bradford. Very, very, very good player at this level. I think he hit double figures, and they signed him in January last year.
Yeah,
I think he got
good player.
a very good player.
Signed him from Carlisle.
Yeah, and again, Bradford are going to be up there, so they're going to need him. And I think he will be. He's going to be my top goal scorer.
Yeah, see, I've gone with Bradford's other striker. I've gone with Alex Jones, who the first half of the season last year, like you say, Wyke, he signed in January. He was playing at Port Vale first half of last season, who, as we know, weren't very good. I think he scored 10 goals at Port Vale, come over to Bradford in January and got another 6 or 7, I think. So maybe him and Wyke will play up front together and they might have a bit of a competition going on this year.
Yeah.
But no, they've got 2 good forwards, Bradford, and that's, like you say, that's part of the reason why we think they're going to be up there. But no, I'm going to go with Alex Jones, top scorer. Who you got, Josh?
I've gone for ex-Jules Loney, Dominic Samuel as my top goal scorer.
It's not a bad shout.
The other 2 I was contemplating was Graham and Will Grigg, but I've gone for Samuel just because he's played with Dak before, and Dak will play a huge part for Blackburn this season. We'll get onto that in a bit, but yeah, like as I say, he's got the experience with Dak, and he's got the pace as well to sort of burst through defenders, and he's got the finishing ability there. So I think he'll do very well for them this season.
And Kyle, your top scorer?
Oh, we discussed this earlier, didn't we? And it was very unpopular between you, but I honestly think that Ricky Miller will get it this season, even though he's only going to be featuring in 40 games.
I said earlier, he misses the first 6 games. For me, those first 6 games are for him to adapt to the league, and he's completely missing them now. So like, as soon as he comes in, he's playing catch up.
He's going to have to hit it off.
The thing is, the goalposts don't move, and Peterborough will be feeding him. They'll be feeding him solely.
They've got him and Jack Marriott as well, haven't they? They've signed this summer. Not bad signings.
But yeah, for me,
he'll have the midfield support to be able to actually hit 30 goals. I reckon.
I'd think him missing that first 6 games will ruin it.
But I'm sticking with my decision.
But there's always someone that surprises you and ends up near the top goal scorer.
I think he'll do alright.
Tom Eves, anyone? 150 to 1?
Rhythm is listen, lump on.
Lump on.
Why don't we do it? Last week's blog, tenner each.
No. Moving on to our next category, the best signing made by a League One team this summer. I'll do mine first, and I've gone with Michael Kiteley at Southend.
Great shout.
I did a bit of reading up on him as well, and he said that he had offers from Championship teams, and Southend was the only club in League One that he'd signed for, because he knows he is too good to be playing League One football.
I reckon he'd have got an offer from Burton Albion. He was there last season, and he done really well at Burton. Their fans were desperate to keep him, and it's, you know, he is a Championship player, and I think it's saying a lot when he's here.
His signing is what's going to be lifts them from just missing out on the playoffs to getting in there, like I've predicted them to do this year, which is what you want from a big name signing. You want them to take you to that next stage.
He's sort of a different big name signing to ones we was making. Like, we signed ones that were sort of coming towards the end of career, barring Thomas, like the likes of Konchesky, whereas
O'Hara,
you know, he's in his prime now.
Yeah.
And like, for me, he's going to do brilliantly this season, but not as good as the one I've wrote. Do you want me to say mine? Mine's ex-Jules man again, Bradley Dack. I just can't think of anyone else that, like this. It pains me to say it, but he's going to work wonders up there.
He got Player of the Season 2 years ago for a reason.
Yeah, and as much as he was awful last season, he did get let down at times. And
I'd say awful's a bit of a stretch, but
he was less
he
good.
Was bad. Yeah, he was less good than everyone else. But yeah, I just think he'll be brilliant up there, especially with the likes of Graham and Samuel in front of him. So yeah, he's my best signing.
Kyle, your best signing?
Northampton's new owners.
Does that count? Does that really count?
It's a fair shout.
Saving Justin Edinburgh's career. No, I've gone for Aaron Pierre.
Good shout.
We all wanted him, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'll mention
I've
him
got
in that
exactly
video.
the same.
Oh, there you go. You can talk about him together, and I'll just listen.
Yeah, I think he's actually too good for Northampton. In my personal opinion, I think he should be playing. I think had he gone to Blackburn or someone like that, no one would have been
He
surprised.
was at Bristol City on trial, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing to think why he turned it down other than money, wages, but he's definitely too good for this division, and I reckon he's going to be the difference between Northampton coming where Reece has put them to where the rest of us has put them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And our last talking point, it's not the very nice one, but
It's got to be done.
modern day football, it has to be discussed, and that's the first manager to lose their job.
I've gone for the physio, John Whitney.
The physio. You see,
Yeah.
but I think they'll stick with him till Christmas.
But it looks like he's fell out with the board, and the fans aren't on side. They've been singing Whitney out for ages now, and now he's fell out with the board. I just think all it takes is a bad start,
He could be gone by middle of
and
September.
he could be gone very, very early. So that's the reason I put him down.
I've gone for Gary Bowyer
yeah,
for
it's
Blackpool.
not a bad show.
I just think, like I said earlier, that
Iceland's pulled the trigger.
all it takes is Oyston's to wake up on the wrong side of the bed one morning and think, stuff it, I'm going to sack the manager and get a new one. Even if they have a good record, a good run of results, you never know what you're going to get from the Oystons. So yeah, I've gone for Gary Bowyer.
Carl?
I've put 2 really because I think it's going to be decided by the owners.
That's cheating.
But I'll put either Gary Bowyer or Carl Robinson, but I think I'm going to go for Gary Bowyer because Carl Robinson tends to stay at clubs a bit longer. But as James said, it's just the owners, either Roland, however you pronounce his surname, or the Oysters just waking up one morning thinking, no, I don't want him anymore. Especially if Charlton get off to a really bad start, their managerial post is just a revolving door, which is a bit surprising they put Carl Robinson there because he was at MK Dons for 7 years. But no, I'm going to go Gary Bowyer.
I am going with Paul Warne at Rotherham. Obviously, they got relegated last year. Well, relegated is probably an understatement. They was abysmal, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think they probably only won about 3 games all season.
But
But the problem is with teams that get relegated, there's always a little bit of expectation to bounce straight back up. And
Yeah.
well, in my table,
Or
I
he's put in a good performance.
I'll put it to them 19th. I don't think they've signed anyone that looks to me like they're going to pull up any trees.
I've put it to them 18th.
they lost a lot of money as well, weren't they? I think they're losing
know.
quite a bit of funds.
So yeah, for that reason, I think they're going to struggle. And then because of the fact they were playing the Championship last year, I think the trigger might get pulled quite early on him. But after me and James speaking to Adrian Pennock yesterday, maybe we should all back him to be sacked first after he was encouraging people to bet on him to do so.
He was, wasn't he? It was very, very funny.
I'm sure he was only having a laugh and a joke. But he did say to us that he wanted to have this Gills fans forum this week because he might not be there in a month. Yeah. Fair enough. If you have that attitude to your own job, and you can have a joke about it, fair enough. But no, that is our preview for the upcoming League One season. We hope you have enjoyed it. You won't abuse us tue much for predicting your team to get relegated.
Sorry, Walsall fans.
Sorry, Stu.
Sorry, Dan.
But like I say, this will become a weekly feature now once the season begins, looking back at the results, the league table, so on and so forth, any big news relating to the league, and that will become a slightly shorter but a video feature from next week. But thanks for listening. We hope you have enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more League One Weekly coming up throughout the League One season.